Start of the game at Cardinia Park. And the Hawks are going left to right in the first quarter. Acting captain Darren Jarman won the toss. And a centre square infringement, and the free kick straight away goes to the Cats. Johnny Barnes to take it from the centre circle. He comes out wide, and finding himself in the open is Pickering. Geelong, long odds-on favourites. Dunstall a last-minute withdrawal, but a poor kick lands short of Ablett, and the mark is taken by Chris Langford, who was last year's captain but is not acting captain today. Darren Jarman tossed the coin. Langford ran too far in getting around Mensch, and the umpires pinged him. Brian Sheehan right on the spot, and Ablett will be kicking for goal from 50 metres.
Should be a problem for him, Drew. In the warm-up, he was dobbing them from this distance at the other end. The breeze blowing across his left shoulder, so that may be a problem.
Well, it's incredible to see a player of Chris Langford's experience do that. You maybe would expect it from a first-yearer, and there's a few in the Hawthorn lineup today. But one of the most experienced players in the lineup gives Ablett a freebie from 52 metres, but he hasn't capitalised. It's away to the right. It's still in the field of play. Holland, he didn't get it out. Tudor snaps for goal and kicks it.
There's a bit of a muck-up by Hawthorn, especially in that back pocket. Maybe they should have played safety first and gone to the boundary line. But Tudor, who has been bugged with injuries, back in for his second game back. Lee Tudor, blessed with a lot of speed. Here it is. There's the muck-up, cut off by Tudor.
They're back in the middle, and the Cats are going forward again. This could be an absolute bath here today. Pickering gets the hand pass wide, misses the target, McGrath. McGrath gathers. Caught in a good tackle by Stevenson. Pickering prominent early. His kick inside the 50, and the defensive mark is taken by Graham. Mark Graham for Hawthorn, and a 50-metre penalty. We have Ben Graham for the Cats and Mark Graham for the Hawks.
Shade playing centre-half forward. Drew is named in the ruck, taking Stephen Lawrence's place.
Kick by Graham, up towards half forward, and Tallis finds himself in an open hole and takes the mark. Too far out to score. Minton Connell with an open forward line. It bounces to him. It spills to Stevenson. A snap for goal. He's kicked it. Who said it'd be a walkover?
Well, he's carrying on from last season, actually, Shane Stevenson. He got his go late in the season and really made a name for himself, and he's continued on with that form. That's not a really good kick from Tallis, short of the mark. Players nowadays should be capable of hitting their mark. Well done by Stevenson. The Hawks first.
A goal apiece here at Cardinia Park.
Oh,
Nick Holland in the ruck for the Hawks. Pickering has been sensational at the back, Brown, but the ball is knocked away by Graham. It comes out to Brownless. He's lost it. Brewer takes it towards the boundary line, and it goes out. There's Stevenson back on half-back flank for the Hawks now, having kicked their opening goal. Breeze, pretty firm one, going across the ground, hardly an advantage to either side here. Boundary throw in. Holland and Brownless. Brewer might have been taken high. Gary Hocking gave up the captaincy during the week and gave up the football to Crawford. Beautiful hand pass, a 15-metre hand pass to Stevenson. He steers the pass up towards half forward. Deere, he's got a player running past. This is good play. Holland, his kick inside the 50. Cooper. And Scholl gets it out of defence for the Cats, but he hasn't cleared the area yet. Trouble for Ken Hinkley. Mansfield concedes some ground. Tim McGrath across to the rampaging Johnny Barnes, having a sensational season, but a terrible kick. It might land all right for Simpson. The umpire's gone down. The hand pass up goes to Mensch. Ablett on the lead. He's got it. Well, there were so many things happening there with the umpire going base over apex, and the Cats working it through the middle, and Liam Pickering has been sensational with 4 possessions already in the opening 5 minutes.
Well, he's continuing on from where he left off last week, Pickering. 18 and 10 last week against Footscray, I should say.
Breeze left to right. Ablett for goal, kicks it.
As Scarry kicks his first goal. Hawthorn are making a replacement. Jenke going off now. Jenke's injured. To what extent, I don't know. Jonathan Robin coming on. Now, where will Jonathan Robin go? I don't think he'll go half-back flank. He's going on to Brownless. Taylor going across to Mench. Holland still in the ruck. Crawshay playing forward pocket now.
So we're back in the centre. 2 goals to 1. John's favour. Holland looks at Barnes. Pickering on the burst through. Paul Deere does very well in a tight situation. Kicks the ball forward. O'Connor with a fantastic dive. Just unable to grab hold of the football. And the Geelong players stack it up. And there'll be a ball up some 45 metres from the Hawthorn goal. So 3 goals in the first 5 minutes of the game has really opened at a clinker pace. Crawshay with his left hand, back to Scholl. Scholl with a quick kick forward, Simpson onto it. Bustled off the ball by Jarman, falls to Hinkley. Hocking running for him, Hocking onto his left foot, sits it out wide for Mench, and Mench takes the mark. Looks back inside, called play on by umpire Goldsmith. The ball falls to the middle, Crawford, fantastic. Breaks it up for Hawthorn, kicks in the Crawshay Hall direction, over the back, the ball falls to Deere. Deere comes back inside, onto his left foot, steadies, and it's goal. 2 goals apiece early in the first quarter at Kardinia Park.
Well, Geelong made their second goal look easy, and that was an easy one for Hawthorn. Deere sidestepping his opponent, going onto his left foot, then put on the brakes. His opponent ran past. This is Crawford. Getting it around midfield, drives it long towards Crawshay and Deere. Crawshay behind. Here's Deere running onto it. Puts the brakes on. Steadies. Elementary Deere Watson.
Well, any complacency in the Cats, and they might get a shock here today. And it looked as though Mench was being a bit casual at half forward. It's in the middle. Pickering nearly throws the ball back to Barnes.
My word it was.
Hocking went very hard at it with eyes only for the ball. The umpire comes in, he's going to ball it up, but the player's not too happy in here. That's about 1 player short of a melee.
That's Alex McDonald holding his head.
He is not too good. A lot of players around this. Deere wins. It comes to Pickering. Oh, he beats 1, beats 2. Out to Barnes. He loses it in the tackle. Riccardi fighting hard for the ball. Barnes again, went without it. Couch, blind hand pass. The Hawks putting the pressure on as you'd expect. Is that holding the ball? No, the ball held to Hinkley by Jarman, and the umpire will ball it up. Scores level, 2 goals each.
Centre wing, Barnes front spot. Deere pushes him underneath the ball. Out wide to Stevenson, who's picking up early kicks in this game. Up forward, Mansfield back onto it. McGrath reads it better. Switches play and goes out wide to Hall. Hall just inside the 50-metre line. Defensive side for Geelong. Looking at his options. New player to Geelong this year from West Perth via the Eagles. Kicks the ball out wide. Big fly from behind by Brownless. Taps it out to Couch. Couch under pressure from Cooper. Tallis kicks the ball smothered. Hawthorn running in numbers at the moment. Woods out to Stevenson again. Stevenson from just outside 50. Graham and Minton Connell. Connell goes to ground. Quick snap off the ground by Gibson in his first game. And the first point registered for Hawthorn.
Well, I can't see how the umpire couldn't see Graham holding Minton Connell as they went for that contest. The umpire right on the spot. Graham had Minton Connell by the jacket. Not by the jacket, by the jumper.
I think Graham goes in short and easily finds Mick Mansfield in the back pocket. Mansfield. Barnes makes the lead. Is ignored. Now goes back to try and get on the end of this kick. It's a lovely kick from Mansfield. Up to centre wing. Barnes from behind can't mark it. Couch runs onto it. Tremendous pressure around the football at the moment. Gary Hocking, clever, kicks the ball forward. McDonald moving onto the ball with Brewer. Umpire calls play on, and Robin sees it over the boundary line.
That wasn't against Jarman for charging.
Well, the Cats, long odds on, find themselves behind by a point. Holland playing in the ruck. Brown is claiming the tackle, but nothing doing. Out for Hawthorn this week, Hudson, Dunstall, Lawrence, Platten, Pritchard. So they're way below top strength. Here's Nick Holland, the former South Australian. His kick up towards centre wing. It goes to Deere. A good hand pass. Comes back to Woods. Ex-Fitzroy and Collingwood. Up to the 50. McGrath didn't attempt the mark, but will take the free kick against Crawshay, who was named in the ruck, playing at half forward for the Hawks. And they're doing well, Hawthorn. 2-1 to Geelong, 2 goals. McGrath goes towards the outer wing. Brewer leads and fails to take the mark. Ball whipped away by Tallis and taken over the boundary line by Hall. Now look at those for a combined couple of haircuts. Tallis and Hall. I'd like to know their barber so I could avoid him.
Boundary throw in centre wing. John Barnes works his way to the front, tries to work Deere underneath it. Handballs forward. Hocking running onto it. It's taken out by McDonald. Holland comes in to relieve the pressure. Swung wide. Collins first back. Brewer after him. A fantastic chase of Shane Brewer, and forces Collins into the error and out of bounds. So half forward flank about 75 metres from the Geelong goal. Bill Brownless comes in to do ruck against Holland. Many players around this ball. Very hard to get a kick. Tallis misses. Pickering quick left foot. Hocking gets the ball, kicks it up very, very high. Collins sits underneath it and takes a finely judged mark. Terrific play. Out wide, Taylor in 2 minds, kicks the ball back in the Riccardi direction, and Riccardi takes a safe mark. Looks inside, back into the centre to Brownless. Brownless with a paddock in front of him can measure the kick, and a great kick to David Mensch.
There's just no pressure at all on Brownless. 2 Geelong players in the centre square. Plenty of time to do what they wanted with the ball.
David Mensch worked very hard on his kicking over the last couple of years. Unfortunately, he's pushed this one a bit wide. So the first point to Geelong. Scores are even with 11 minutes to go in the first quarter. 2-1 apiece.
Well, I'm sure a packed crowd here at Cardinia Park were hoping for the Cats to be romping away by now, but the scores are level. Malcolm, it might remind you of a final last year when you went in against Carlton well below strength, and you gave the task to a few blokes and they killed them.
Yes, amazing how that happened, Drew.
So maybe it could happen for the Hawks today. Langford kicks in a mile, but Brownless jumps up a mile to take the mark. Ablett trying to find some space on Langford. Langford looking eyeball to eyeball with a great man. Brownless goes long. Big pack there. Mensch!
Colin not punching on that occasion. Mensch in front. Strong mark. Very hard to take on the pack, but there's Holland attempting to mark. He should have been putting the fist right through that ball.
2 Geelong pairs of gloves there with David Mensch and Gary Ablett. And Mensch, who hit a bit of form last week and kicked 3 against Footscray, right in front and 35 metres out, has sprayed it again. 2 behinds to Mensch, and there was a previous occasion when he attempted a little fancy stuff on the half-forward line. Maybe Mensch could nearly have 3 goals by now. He's got 2 points.
Yes, great kick from Langford down the centre of the ground in Brownless direction. Disciplined punch. Barging through is Pickering. The ball spills. Hawthorn forcing it forward. He comes in with Jarman, who manages somehow to get a handball out of it, and Brownless grabs a high tackle and will take the free kick. Centre wing, far side. Brownless looks short, sees Barnes in the middle of the ground by himself. John Barnes is a very good kick normally, unfortunately misses this up. Puts it in the front of David Mensch. Mensch wins round. Too slow really from Crawshay, didn't feel the player at all. Lee Tudor with pace, mops it up beautifully on the boundary line from the 50-metre line, goes forward, favours Brewer. Brewer is clever, but a fantastic approach from O'Connell and puts Brewer on the ground for holding the ball. Terrific pressure then from Alex McDonald.
The Hawthorn side are quitting themselves very, very well. They've got a lot of experienced stars out of this side through injury.
Goes shorts to Wood. Wood attempts to play on, does so with the foot now, comes out wide. Deere pushed off the ball. Richard Taylor grabs hold of Hall. Both go to ground, and Bradshaw mops up, looks up forward, once again in the Mensch direction, coming from behind with a fantastic leap. McDonald Crawshay gives it off to Taylor. Taylor out wide to Woods, and Woods streams through the centre of the ground.
Kick by Tony Woods, plenty of distance. Minton Connell got a hand to it. No free kick, says the umpire. Down goes Gibson, the first gamer. It's grabbed by Mansfield. The hand pass comes in. Riccardi sweeps a 20-metre hand pass back to Michael Mansfield. He's met by Jarman. Terrific contest there. Back it comes to Simpson. He's kicked the centre half forward. Over Mench it goes. And the mark is taken in defence by Taylor.
Go wide, Taylor.
Jason Taylor. We now have Crawshay on the ball and Holland at centre half forward for the Hawks. The kick goes out wide. Here's Nick Holland, who is equal leader in the competition for marks taken in the opening 6 rounds. His hand pass was pretty ordinary. Grabbed by Brownless. Had more time than he thought, Billy. Simpson back to Brownless. Brownless up towards full forward. Mench is there. Running onto a Tudor. Lee Tudor near the goal square. Can't get boot to ball. Langford hacks it out of the area and finds the safety of out of bounds. It's tight. The Cats by a point.
Good play by Langford. Collins just about to pick it up and realised that Langford was coming through.
There's great desperation by the Hawthorn defence. As the ball comes in, Langford again thumps the ball 30 metres. Tallis runs onto it and is caught comprehensively by Gary Hocking, who does very well to tap it back to Barnes. And then a fantastic little tap on by Hawthorn. Move the ball forward. Kick back towards centre half forward. Contest in the air. Ball first back. Now it's Scholl. Scholl has an option. Tries to play the lock. Grabs a high tackle. And will take a free kick. 45 metres defensive side for Hawthorn goals. Derek Hall makes the option. Bounces once. Casually twice. Sets it up with a handball to get King Hinkley on his way. Hinkley goes back into the middle towards Hocking and Tallis does very well to get his body in front of Gary Hocking.
Good contest between those two, Tallis and Hocking.
Comes out wide. Lone player out here is Woods, who really is getting by himself and starting to get some kicks. Kicks truly to Paul Deere, and Paul Deere marks comfortably just outside 50.
Tony Woods, 6 possessions. Drafted in February. Ex-Fitzroy at Collingwood, playing his 3rd game this season for the Hawks. Deere, best on ground in a grand final. Pretty good credentials. 53 metres out, won't quite make it. Gets to the back of the pack. Minton Connell. And the 2-pronged forward attack for Hawthorn hasn't really worked all that successfully with Minton Connell and Dunstall. So maybe Simon Minton Connell, who's a 60-goal-a-season man for the Swans, might appreciate the fact that Dunstall's not there. He thought that was his free kick. The umpire says, give it to me, I'll throw it in. McGrath beats Holland. Scholl, met by Stevenson. Scholl again. The hand pass. Barnes, he's given it up to Stevenson, who approaches the 50, inside 50. He's kicked one already. This is not far off, but just offline or behind. 1-1 to Shane Stevenson. Another former Fitzroy player, and there are 4 today, ex-Fitzroy players in Hawthorn's lineup.
So Ben Graham to move the ball back in. Scores level. 6 minutes to go in this first quarter. A beautiful drop punt. It's gone 65 metres. That fantastic kick. Falls free to Pickering. Quickly onto his right boot. Taylor meets the ball confidently and positively. Kicks forward. McGrath with the sit does very well by punching. Taylor runs onto it. Fantastic. Tries to set it up with the kick into Hawthorn and a great mark taken by Gibson there. And is severely dealt with. And a 50-metre penalty given against McMansfield, and the first gamer surely must kick his first goal gone.
Yes, well, he made a name for himself in the under-18 competition. In the grand final, he was moved to full forward in the second half when playing for the Northern Knights and kicked a bundle that day. Been playing it as a wingman, half forward, half back for Hawthorn, now playing in the forward pocket for his first game.
And kicks the goal, so Shannon Gibson gets his first goal. And the Hawks lead by that margin, 14-20.
By my reckoning, 2 kicks and 2 scores for Shannon Gibson. He kicked the point earlier, and with his second kick of league football, a goal.
Drafted in '93 after that performance in the grand final where he kicked 10 for the Northern Knights, making his debut today as a 19-year-old. Just under 6 minutes to quarter time, and Hawthorn lead by a goal. Barnes wins in the middle. Couch leads the race, just gets the ball out to Hall. He props up inside half forward. He's found Mensch. 40 metres out. Mensch has missed again to the right. That's 3 out of 3 that he's sprayed to the right.
Well, Taylor is his immediate opponent. That's Jason Taylor, and he's not paying too much attention to Mensch because he's getting on it by himself a lot.
Well, if Mensch was playing golf, you wouldn't park your car on the right-hand side of the fairway. Here's Tony Woods, who's going like a rocket for the Hawks. Gets it out to Crawshay. Playing now on the ball on Johnny Barnes. Pass goes out wide. Holland at centre half forward on McGrath. Keeps the ball in, but he's holding it. Oh, the umpire says, give it to me, and I'll ball it up. And most of the crowd thought that is holding the ball against Nick Holland. Umpire walks back about 10 metres in from the boundary line for the throw-in. 20 to 15, Hawthorn in front. Ball comes underfoot. Pickering can't get boot to ball. And it's paddled over the boundary line by Richard Taylor, who's having a reprieve at Hawthorn. He was drafted in February after 2 knee reconstructions.
He's not a bad little player, Drew, either. He moves quite well.
So Tim McGrath makes it to the front spot. It's a fantastic tap over the back onto Crawford. Crawford slips at the crucial time. Pickering knocks it forward to Hockey, taps it out the back again to a nest of Hawthorn players. Should be able to make something out of this. They really are. And Liam Pickering's been caught for holding onto Shane Stevenson. And so these 2 youngsters, Gibson and Stevenson up forward, certainly creating some problems for the Geelong backline.
Gee, if Hawthorn win this will be a tale straight out of the boys' own manual. Because with the players missing, you wouldn't give them a hope against the Cats at Cardinia Park. But
I think that's why the Cats maybe just taking them a little bit easy, Drew.
Kick by Stevenson. Gets away to the right, which is a bit of a surprise because the breeze is right to left. You can vaguely make an excuse for Mensch missing 3 to the right at the other end, but it's hard to miss to the right at this end.
1 goal 2 to Shane Stevenson.
Ben Graham comes wide to the wing in the Hall direction. Nick Holland does very well and uses his body.
It's great to see this player playing well. He works really, really hard at his game, fitness-wise, skill-wise. It's great to see him now starting to reap the benefit of years. It's not just a matter of 12 months, it's years of work.
So will kick from 55 metres. Will be an excellent kick to make the square even. He does that. It's punched through by Graham. So off hands for a point. And puts Hawthorn 3-5 to Geelong 2-3. So the margin just ekes out by that 1 point. So Holland making his mark in this game, as is Crawshay. So the 2 big fellas are doing quite well at the moment against John Barnes in the centre of the ground and around the ground. Ben Graham once again goes to the far wing. Big pack of players out there. Punched forward by Paul Deere. Paul Simpson comes over the top, knocks it again. Crawshay with a quick hands. Hinkley can't just get it. It falls to Peter Riccardi. Fantastic tackle from behind. Once again inside to Tallis. Tallis to an open goal and has missed. Tremendous pressure then from all the Hawthorn forwards, and Tallis really did get set up for an easy shot at goal. And unfortunately for the Hawks, it's missed. So Hawthorn lead 3-5-23 to Geelong 2-3-15. Short kick in from Graham has missed the target. It's pushed forward by Crawford, and underneath the ball and waiting is Woods, who's had a busy first quarter. 8-point margin to Hawks late in the first quarter.
Good kick by Crawford because he spotted Woods by himself. Maybe the kick a little bit too high, but that was his target all the time, Tony Woods.
Tony Woods, a bit of a journeyman, but he's coming up for his 8th disposal in this first quarter. A terrific start to the game. Across the face of goal. Mark? Yes, by Deere. Just inside the boundary line. He's cornered.
Check. Goes
with the outside of his foot, but straight back across the face of goals and out of bounds. So it's a shame that, a wasted mark on the forward line. Paul Deere, 1 goal and 1 out of bounds. Kick taken by Riccardi. Crawshay comes from behind, all over Barnes. No whistle. It goes to Couch. Hurried left footer. A high ball, and taking the mark is Cooper. Gee, they're working well, Hawthorn. Here's Richard Taylor. The kick to full forward. Punch from behind was disciplined. Jarman, haven't seen much of him. A snap out of the pack is away to the left and through for a behind. Acting captain today for the Hawks. And that was his first kick.
Tremendous pressure once again. The Geelong side having trouble. Saw Ben Graham last week unload an 80-odd metre torp.
Wasn't it a ripper?
It might be the time to now to try and break something up here. What he's been doing just hasn't worked at the moment. He really can't clear the area. Once again in the Barnes direction.
Good boy.
Punch forward again. It has been some disciplined punching by Jarman. Clever to Deer. Out wide. Stevenson can't get the bounce. Couch goes to ground. Fantastic smother and cover up by Deer. Deer centres the ball. Oh, just mark dropped by Crawford. Normally eat them. Unfortunately, he's set up by Mick Connell. Graham does terrifically well to punch it back. Woods evades him. Now has an open goal. He'll kick to the right and it'll swing back, but just won't come back far enough.
That's their 5th consecutive point, Hawthorn.
So Ben Graham has to trudge back. 3-7 Hawthorn, 2-3 Geelong. A 10-point advantage. And Ben Graham handed the ball back by Ken Hinkley as Tony Woods really has got a lot of the footy at the moment. Number 30 there for Hawthorn.
Here's Graham kicking in. Is he thinking about one of those boomers? Straight up the ground, a mere 60 metres. Hocking from behind. Yes, a mark!
That was a 60-metre pass.
A drop punch, 60-metre pinpoint.
Terrific.
Beautiful. Hocking to Simpson. Simpson doing good job on Jarman. Away he goes here to Scholl. Up to full forward. Ablett leads from behind. Brownless in front. It comes down to McDonald. Hawthorn have won this quarter clearly, but haven't got the score on the board for their efforts. And the ball goes out of bounds. Forward of centre wing, down towards half forward. Stevenson's had plenty of it, but so has Pickering. Last minute of the first quarter. Here's Hocking. He didn't want the captaincy, but by gee, he always wants the footy. Past Mench it goes. Well done by Crawshay. Slides the ball back to McDonald. His pass is good. Richard Taylor takes the mark. Time for another goal for the Hawks. Kick by Taylor. Minton Connell is there. Good punch by Graham. Comes to McGrath. Maybe time for the Cats to get at the other end of the ground. Mansfield back to McGrath. 20 seconds left. Kick by McGrath to Barnes, who marks on his chest. He's got Mench, who's already taken 4 marks. Don't worry, Johnny, it's yours. The boy from Cobram gets it to Tudor. Tudor looking for Ablett. A whistle.
Oh, that was soft. I mean, I can't believe some of these decisions.
Against Ablett to Langford. And there is the siren for quarter time. And it's a quarter dominated by the Hawks. But they didn't get value for money, leading by just 10. It's 3-7 to 2-3. Outs in the middle to start the second quarter. And Barnes slightly wins against Crawshay, but it's socket out of there by Jarman, who had a very quiet first quarter, up towards half forward. Holland is there. It spills to Taylor. Richard Taylor getting around on the right boot. There's nobody back there for Hawthorn. Minton Connell doubles back, hooks it towards the goal. Graham happy to walk it through for a rush behind.
Should have given off his first option.
So 3-8 now, Hawthorn, to Geelong 2-3. And the Hawks dominated the last 10 minutes of the first term, but in that time didn't kick a goal. Graham kicking just as long at that end as he did in the first quarter from the other end. Tallis wrapped up. The umpire will ball it up. Some of the new names, the turnover in players with Hawthorn, it's staggering, but when you take out some of the stars that they're missing, and Dunstall, of course, a last-minute withdrawal, plenty of kids getting a chance here for the Hawks. Crawshay is one of them. Hooks it up to Tallis. Kick by Tallis wide to Woods. McGrath gets there with great pace, and Tim McGrath sees the boundary line and makes sure that Woods can't get a possession this time. Well done, Tim McGrath.
A little bit of by-play behind play between Cooper and Couch.
McGrath punches the ball forward, falls to Paul Couch, onto Pickering, onto his left foot, in the Hocking direction, jumps early and takes a great mark for Scary Hocking. So Buddha, 147 games now, a real young veteran, still at tender age of 26. He's been a fantastic player for Geelong. Comes in towards Barnes' direction, who marks cleverly in front of Crawshay. John Barnes plays on, spins out wide onto his right foot. Brownless in front, and Brownless with the gloves takes his mark. Billy goes short to Brewer, and Brewer will also with gloves on.
So is Mensch and so is Ablett. So the forward line need a hat check girl there.
You see, he's not much closer to goal than what Brownless was, and that's Brewer. Maybe the goal a little more open.
The Hawthorn players struggled to reach the distance from here in that first quarter. So does Shane Brewer, pushing and shoving, and Ablett.
I can't believe the umpires let that go.
Well, there was a real test of strength there between Langford and Ablett.
Look at the holding there by
Ablett pushing, shoving, both players in trouble. And Ablett with that uncanny knack of just that last split-second release to concentrate on the footy. And Gary lines up for his second goal and does it easy. So the Cats come back 3-3-21, trailing Hawthorn 3-8-26. And the RJ Hickey stand comes alive when Gary Ablett does that sort of thing in front of them.
Now, Donald, isn't that a good contest between two strong men?
That used to be called holding the man when I was a young fellow. Even when we played football, it was called holding the man.
That's what we're doing, football. That's the name of the game. But isn't that a good contest against...
It's an ugly part of football.
You would pay 120 free kicks a game.
Exactly. No, all you have to do is play one or two, clean it up, and then they start and use their bodies.
So we're back in the centre. Umpire Darren Goldsmith puts it down. John Barnes jumps early, pushes with his left hand. Cooper and Simpson, great contest. Cooper keeps his feet to Robran. Robran looks at opportunities. Minton Connell on the lead. Once again, the kick just falls short of him. Scholl, as he so often does this year, tidies up at the back. John Barnes has Hall on offer. It goes in that player's direction. And now Hall bouncing, no, kicks to Mensch. Mensch has a chance here. Jason Taylor almost the mark. Brewer off the ground. Great gather from Brewer. Snapshot. Just out of bounds on the full.
Great stuff by Brewer. He was running out of room. Played that ball beautifully. Alex McDonald was the #1 draft pick in the national draft. It's been a bogey for most players. Short pass in, and Tallis takes the mark, still in the back pocket. Braden Tallis, who's recovered from an incident where he might have gone down in history as being the man trodden on by Dermot Brereton. He's certainly better than that. Kick by Tallis. Over half back. Mensch punches, goes to Pickering, gave it to Couch, who was in no position to take it. Taylor out to Woods. Woods balks the hand pass. Playing a magnificent game, Tony Woods. Didn't know what to do with it when he got in the clear. Tudor. In goes Jarman. That'll be a ball up.
So often, Drew, the players, when they think about what they do, they usually muck it up when they've got plenty of time. If they do the instinctive thing, it's usually the right thing with the player. They're trained that way. And Tony Woods on that occasion, just too long to think what he was going to do with the ball.
You throw a blanket over 25 players here. Hardly room for the umpire to breathe. Clean possession, Crawshay. Good effort. Well done, Couch. And terrific effort to get boot the ball. It comes off Brownless. Brownless in after it. The second effort was good. He's over it. He's not doing much to get it out of there. Brewer, well played. Well played, Brewer. Snap towards the goal square. Ablett the only chance. Can he keep it in? And it's out of bounds. Two magnificent bits of play by Brewer for no score.
No, he can be exciting, Shane, and just that consistency I think Geelong are really looking for at the moment. So boundary throw in, forward pocket, over the back Brownless with a very, very clever tap towards Pickering. The ball smothered. Tallis tidies up. McDonald gives Collins a paddock to run in. The ball sits for him nicely. He now looks, runs across 50, back in towards the centre wing. Holland and McGrath test his strength there as well. Falls to Woods. Great block. Crawford running through the middle, bouncing left-handed. Two bounces. Kicks it in the direction of Gibson, and a wonderful mark.
That's a terrific mark.
The ball just sitting up in the breeze and Ken Hinkley unable to knock it away. So Gibson with a goal already in his first game, and a couple of very, very clever marks from this youngster.
Well, I could be the mediator here today. You are clearly barracked for Hawthorn. I reckon Blighty wants the Cats.
And he finds Crawshay, who drifts down. John Barnes goes down to fill up the goal square. And it's always a great play in footy, that, Don, I think, occasionally, just for the ruckman to fall into a hole.
Exactly right. And it's a great battle because they're using Barnes on the way out on a change of direction, Geelong. And that really does now put the pressure on Barnes to watch Crawshay. And smart thinking by Crawshay to drop in. Also good play by young Gibson to spot him.
Pretty well coached, Simon Crawshay, these days, Don, too, isn't he?
Well, I don't know who's coaching down there.
Who's the ruck coach at Hawthorn? He's really improving, Tom. You must be doing something right. So Crawshay moves in, kicks the ball and looks good. So the fourth goal to Geelong. Geelong go to, Hawthorn. Or perhaps I am barracking for them. Fourth goal to Hawthorn. Hawthorn 4-8. Geelong 3-3.
A little bit of trivia that every man, or not every man, but everyone that's just about worn the Guernsey number 23 at Hawthorn since the early 50s has been a ruckman, starting with Ted Fletcher, John Peck, and now Simon Crawshay.
But Dermot Brewer.
Nearly everyone.
Oh, he was just a half-forward flanker.
So back in the centre, Barnes and Crawshay again. Crawshay hits the ground. Tallis does pretty well to try and make a contest of it. Pickering also does well. Mansfield's caught. Cooper with the kicks back to the guy following around Paul Couch. Paul Couch brought from behind with a big jump, one hand up, unable to control it. The ball falls under a pack, and once again Darren Goldspink comes into bounce.
Been a long dry spell for the Cats. They haven't kicked a goal in the opening 10 minutes of this second quarter and didn't for about the last 10 of the first quarter.
This is Pickering coming off for Geelong.
Ablett did kick a goal early in this quarter, but they've kicked one goal in about 40 minutes, the Cats. There's Crawford outside of his boot, and Barnes takes the mark forward of the wing. Oh, McGrath fumbles. Mansfield helps him out, but not to the advantage of the side. Well done, Jarman. Off to Woods, who's burning on Riccardi. Up to half forward. Deere gets underneath the ball. At the back shoal. Open paddock here. Leading the race is Jason Taylor. He has a bit of a fumble. Mensch gets rid of him. Tudor. Kick by Lee Tudor towards centre half forward. Couch didn't have the height against any of them there. Punch to the front. Crawford concedes some ground, well played. Richard Taylor to Crawshay. Crawshay's kick towards half forward. Minton Connell. He's got it this time.
He always goes to ground. He tries to take a half volley all the time, Minton Connell. That time he took one.
Pokes it in short and misses the target, who is McDonald. It's grabbed off the ground by Riccardi. Barnes. Crawshay's got him. They haven't cleared the area yet, Geelong. Graham goes back to Riccardi. Now Scholl. Kick by Scholl, and on his own is Simpson, who's going well on Jarman, because Jarman has had just 4 possessions. Kick by Sean Simpson. Plenty of height. At half forward, comes off to Robran. He busts a tackle. Crawshay in the centre circle. A half volley pickup, if you don't mind. Here's Jarman. That doesn't bring the man, the acting captain, into the game, and he's fumbled it. Here comes Simpson again. Well, Jarman looks absolutely switched off. Brownless, buried. The ball goes out of play, and we'll have a throw in.
Boys, he's having a dirty day. Maybe the responsibility of captain on Darren Jarman.
So boundary throw in, 55 metres from the Hawthorn goal. The Geelong goal, I should say, and Tudor shoots at goal and misses to the right. So Lee Tudor's been pretty lively up forward. Has had 5 kicks. And so a 10-point margin to the Hawthorn side as Langford looks at opportunities.
Go. Why didn't he do it?
We'll go short. I'm sure he will. Yes, to McDonald. So McDonald's takes a bounce. Ablett comes at him, shepherded well, and he kicks it away in a hocking direction. Through comes Stevenson, misses. Lynch on the ground, picks the ball up close to the boundary line, taps it back cleverly. Paul Brown, probably first kick for the day, Kicks in through to Barnes. Barnes on to Hawking. Hawking goes in the Ablett direction. Coming onto it is Collins. Langford chases out wide. Thumps the ball forward. And out of bounds. Forward pocket. 45 metres around from the Geelong goal. And Brownless and Robin will do the ruck work. Robin taps it down in front with his left hand and the ball's off a player's boot and out of bounds.
Interesting contest, full forward and full back. There's 65 years between them, Gary Ablett and Chris Langford.
See, I bet they're up in that.
32 and 33. Unbelievable.
And Cooper just knocks it back over the line for another throw-in. 50-metre line. Geelong's attack. 10 minutes to go of this second quarter. Once again, Jonathan Robin from Nord in South Australia. Brownless did very well. Shooter ran onto it cleverly. Couch finds some room for himself. Kicks poorly and finds Taylor at centre-half back for Hawthorn. They're just wasting the ball a minute. Geelong at the moment. Up high, falls to Crawford. Crawford running. Hall chasing. Kicks forward now in the Gibson direction, and a fantastic mark again by this young fella, and a great kick from Crawford. Really did set that up.
He's a great skill player, Crawford. He's let go with a couple of nice hand passes, also a nice left foot pass earlier in the quarter.
Kick by Gibson. Deere is there, and the man in front. Play on, says the umpire. Didn't get first touch, Holland, said the umpire, and he's going to ball it up. The umpire, Sheehan, signalling to Gibson that maybe a Geelong defender had the first touch. Well, it wasn't a Geelong defender, it might have been Deere. But anyway, it was just about a mark. Here's Deere, burrowing through. Scholl looks for the boundary line, and Lynch sees the ball over. Geelong 3 goals 4, and many thought they might kick a cricket score today. Hawthorn 4 goals 8. A real contest on here at Cardinia Park. Clean possession, Deere. Don Scott, the ruck coach, he liked that. All-Australian Mansfield finds All-Australian Hawking. Up to the centre of the ground. Simpson is giving Jarman a bath. Couch. Kick by Couch in the direction of Gazza. I'll take the mark. Brewer, front of the pack. Fires out the hand pass to Paul Brown, who snaps and misses and brings up a behind.
Yes, Paul Brown, first score. Kicked 7 goals a couple of weeks ago and kicked 3 against Footscray last week. Has played a fair bit of recent years in the defensive area, but being tried up forward where he has kicked goals before. So Langford going in the Taylor direction will have to sit on Brownless. Goes early. Brownless very disciplined in punching it down. Robert and clever to Woods. Woods really does tie himself up occasionally. Kicks into Holland, and Holland almost takes a mark, but unfortunately unable to control it and out of bounds. So the youngster from North Adelaide, with just 9 games to his credit, is now back with the ruck work. Kept off the ball by Crawshay. Clever play. Kicks it down towards the Deere direction. McGrath does well. Hall pretty cool in that situation. Paul Deere has been a very, very good player in this first couple of quarters. Pushes towards the centre of the ground. Hocking overruns it. Stevenson gets it off quickly. Crawford caught from behind by Riccardi. Terrific pressure just here. Taylor gets it in the clear, unloads with an ordinary kick forward. The ball spills over to Mitten Connell. Mitten Connell an open goal and has kicked it. 5 goals to Hawthorn, 5-8, Geelong 3-5.
Well, I think that Geelong are now going to play catch-up football, because everything that Hawthorn are doing is coming off. Like, that was not a clean passage to goal, but it seemed to run Hawthorn's way. Here's Taylor. Look, a horrible kick into the forward line, just overrun a mistake, then another mistake which goes Hawthorn's way, and Mitten Connell back onto it. Everything going Hawthorn's way, and Geelong probably lulled into a false sense of security by all the injuries at Hawthorn in today's game.
Well, on the trend of the match, you'd reckon Hawthorn might be further in front than the 15-point margin. So a purple patch by the Cats and they can get back into it. But Hawthorn go on with the business. Woods. Crawshay, another half-volley pickup. Back to Tony Woods, who's blitzing on his wing. The hand pass is good to Tallis. Wide he goes. This is great stuff. Cooper bounces, approaches the 50. Goes long. Well, he had tried to go long, not very long. Minton Connell there. Graham spoils. Gets support from Tim McGrath. Across in front of goals. Out to Scholl. And the Cats can set up round the broadcast side.
He's got to run it further because there's nothing downstairs.
Kick by shoulder centre wing. Mensch, spoiled by Taylor, goes to Crawford. Back he goes. Graham up towards half forward, but the mark is taken by Hall.
Probably Geelong's best haul.
Ken Hinkley from halfback, up to half forward. Mensch the only chance. Man in front is Taylor. McDonald is there. Ball is held in and the umpire will ball it up. 38-23. The Hawks in front, under 7 minutes to halftime.
Yes, 15-point margin. It's been a hard-fought game and not many opportunities for the Geelong side at this stage. Mensch does the ruck work with Taylor. Push wide towards Cooper. Cooper on the left foot, out towards the boundary line, and the ball will bounce over the line. Centre wing, right in front of the broadcast point here for Channel 7. And John Barnes and Crawshay go at it again. It's been a terrific battle between the two of them. The youngster and the emerging John Barnes. Smacks it wide towards goal. Cooper in control of it. McDonald does pretty well. Kicks it back quickly. And a free kick will go to Darren Jarman. Sean Simpson infringing over the shoulder.
And Jarman needs this. He's at fifth only possession.
Yes, we all know the quality of the player. He kicks towards centre half forward. Paul Deere pushing back, but Scholl read it beautifully from behind as the pushing and shoving started. He sets up Tim McGrath. Tim McGrath onto his right foot, trying to set up David Mensch. The ball bounces nicely for him, but he doesn't get his body behind it. Taylor does very well. Back to Mensch. David Mensch has run out of room.
Good tackle.
Fantastic tackle from McDonald.
He had to be holding the ball.
Off the ground, the umpire, Darren Smith has called play on, and Taylor's out wide.
Richard Taylor, the kick to half forward. Deere is there. It spills to the back of the pack. The Cats first to recover. Graham finds McGrath. McGrath's pass across the ground to Johnny Barnes, who juggles and marks at right halfback. The kick to half forward. Mensch took 4 marks in the first quarter, David Mensch. Pokes it over the top to Tudor, who kicked the first goal of the game. Kick by Lee Tudor. Didn't leave the boot well. Grabbed by Jason Taylor. He's caught by Brownless. Loses it. Brewer floats the hand pass to Couch. Couch out of the air. Kicks a goal. Oh, just offline.
Second point, Paul Couch. Jason Taylor coming a long way off David Mensch.
So Chris Langford with the ball. The ball has fairly raced up and down the ground on many occasions, and goals just haven't come. And Langford goes out wide to Collins in the pocket. Collins races off, sets up Robin with a kick, and it's a very good kick. Riccardi nearly steals it. Tudor's free, kicks quickly. Cooper nearly a one-handed mark. Ducked down.
Oh, no. That is wrong. He put his head down. That is wrong.
And I'd suggest that Ken Hinkley has absolutely been moved up forward, and Paul Brown being moved back, because the forward line's just not functioning, and Ken Hinkley can kick a goal, and has on many occasions. As Brownless comes off the ground.
Now here's the free kick. Hinkley head down.
But you still can't hit a bloke around the head,
Yeah, but you can't duck your head into it, Drew.
Pretty important shot at goal, this Ken Hinkley. 14 points in arrears to Geelong. 125 games now. Ken Hinkley, co-captain of the club, announced this week. Gary Ablett captaining today. Ken Hinkley kicks, and I think is missed. So the Cats 3-7 trailed Hawthorn 5-8. The margin 13 points.
Taylor off for Hawthorn. Richard Taylor, and coming on Matthew Young.
Langford kicks in. The margin is still 13 points in favour of Hawthorn, a low-scoring game. Terrific mark taken by Jonathan Robran.
The real surprise packet at Hawthorn is Jonathan Robran.
Started on the interchange bench. His kick over centre wing. Taylor can't take the mark. Lynch the hand pass. Back he goes. Hocking. McGrath thumps it with distance. Langford gets out in front of Ablett. Marks. Plays on. Well done, Langers. And what a perfect kick to Jason Taylor. The Hawthorn team playing above themselves. They're protecting a proud record. Malcolm, you'd only be too aware that I think Geelong have won only 3 of the last 18 matches against Hawthorn.
Yes, they've had a fantastic run, haven't they, Hawthorn? They've got that record with most sides too, Jim.
Yeah. Raiden Tallis just forward of centre wing. Kick towards the 50. Deer. Good punch from behind by Brown. Comes to Riccardi. Barnes at centre half back. The hand pass puts Simpson not quite in the clear. Riccardi in a bit of bother. Gets the kick away to half forward. The Hawthorn defence punch. Came from Robran. Kick by Couch, and Mensch is marked inside the 50. Buddha Hocking for the goal. No, he passes to Ablett, and he's got it.
I think a shift or a change will have to be made. Taylor may have to go down forward off at centre half back, and Holland could go to centre half back on David Mensch. Mensch involved in that setup.
Mensch has taken 6 marks and had 7 possessions. And his kicking has let him down. He kicked 3 behinds in the first quarter. The great man Ablett going for his 3rd goal. Man on the mark, Langford, only 20 metres out, right in front. Hat-trick to Ablett. Four kicks, 3 goals, and the Cats within 7 points.
Well, Hawthorn about to make another change. Mark Bunn will come on. As to what Hawthorn do, the Hawthorn runner is out there. As to what they do is anyone's guess at this stage. Bunn definitely will be coming on.
So an important goal to Gary Ablett, set up by Paul Couch, who's starting to work into the game, and a wonderful kick from Gary Hocking. The ball falls free in the middle of the ground, and Stevenson goes quickly forward, pushing and shoving here. I think it's going to be a free kick. It'll go to Minton Connell. And Ben Graham puts his hands on his head, pretty disappointed with that. So Minton Connell, as we've seen a few times from Carlton and also Swans days, was occasionally erratic in front of goals.
Cooper off for Hawthorn. Cooper had the job on Couch. Bunn's now on as Minton Connell lines up.
So Simon Minton Connell's kicked 1 goal this quarter, lines up for his 2nd in a quarter, and has missed. So quite a significant miss there from Minton Connell. Hawthorn 5-8, 7 points to the good at Geelong 4-7.
I wonder why Cooper's gone off the ground. I thought he was doing a good job on Couch.
Yeah, I just thought the Couch was just starting to get in the game a bit then, Don. Ben
Cooper's
Graham's tried a big talk, hasn't gone anywhere. Paul Dio, who I think's been terrific at centre half forward, sets it up beautifully with a great mark. So Matthew Young on the ground.
Got to go quicker into the forward line.
So, yep, Young shoots in at goal. It's a lovely looking kick off the boot. It's a goal. 6 goals to Hawthorn, 6-9 Hawthorn, 4-7 to Geelong.
Well, he has been coming off the bench, Matthew Young. He's been giving Hawthorn a bit of bite when he has come on. And Hawthorn have drawn away once again. A little bit slow, the build-up. It was Deer who took the mark from the Graham kick-in, spotting Young on the opposite side of the ground, and Matthew's first goal.
Margin back to 14 points in favour of Hawthorn. Bunn just on the ground, sprinted hard at that one. Hickmott the hand pass to Mensch. He goes wide. Hinkley on the forward line. Good spoil from behind. Kept him out of the play. That was Graham. Mark Graham for Hawthorn. We have Ben Graham for Geelong. And a throw in on the 50-metre line. 45 plays 31. Hawthorn in front against the odds. Mensch slides it to Brewer. Gives the hand pass to Tudor. Should be a goal. Drops a bit short and just clears Hinkley. And the mark taken behind him by Graham. Steers the pass wide and the mark taken now by Crawford. 50 seconds remaining and time for Hawthorn to get one more, and they desperately would love another one to build this buffer at half-time. Stevenson missed with the pad up the ground. Goes to Lynch. Centering kick. Hickmott came off the bench from the centre circle, looking for movement on the forward line. Brownless is on the bench. Ablett stays at the back. Langford beats him. Free kick to Ablett.
No, can't, but surely the man in front, I think, Drew.
Right, free kick to Geelong, and it's going to Ken Hinkley. And the replay will show me something here that I didn't see the first time.
I thought Ablett may have infringed.
Gee, there's not much in that, is there? especially if it costs the team a goal. Hinckley misses. A behind.
Well, that's 2 shots Hinckley's had at goal and missed on both occasions and should have been kicked. One earlier from a free kick when he ducked his head into Andy Collins. That one may be another soft free.
Yeah, but, well, you'd reckon a soft free, but certainly inside the 50 right in front. 45 plays 32, and we have 14 seconds remaining in the first half. As Graham kicks in. Is that a free kick? Yes, says Don Scott.
I couldn't believe that.
Comes back to Robrin. He's got some height. He's taller than his brother, isn't he? That's fair income of pushing the back. There's no worries about that. Kick by Robrin, up towards centre wing. Deer. And that's either the Geelong Flyer or the half-time siren. And at half-time, it's Hawthorn 6-9 to the Cats. 4 goals, 8. Second half and a 13-point lead to the Hawks, and Crawshay doing well to the applause of the ruck coach Don Scott in the commentary box. Simpson has it, but the Cats taking it defensively. Simpson round the corner, up towards centre wing. Collins overruns. Barnes is there. Terrific pick-up by Johnny Barnes. His hand pass comes into Scholl. He's run down from behind by Collins. That's the way the Hawks have played it all day. Couch under pressure. Through Tudor it goes. A little flip on by Brewer comes unstuck. Robrin a hand pass. Crawford in space. Away go the Hawks again. Shane Crawford through the cricket pitch area. Barnes can't reach him. Up the ground is Langford to Shepherd. Off to Jarman, who's been quiet, but his kick for goal is good. Great start to the Hawks.
Yes, and a lot of moves have been made as well. Just looking that Langford was down the ground. We've got Holland now at centre half back. Cooper's back on the ground. Pickering's back on the ground too for Geelong. Just see where Langford is playing. Can't pick him up, I've lost him. He's over on the outer wing, being picked up by Grasso. Langford at centre half forward.
So back in the centre, bright start by Hawthorn. First goal of this second half. And they eke that lead out a bit further. Barnes and Crawshay. The ball favours Barnes. Fantastic tap down to Hocking. Hocking kicks the ball to the 50-metre line. McDonald, terrific mark, running back with the flight of the footy. And McDonald settles it down. Alex McDonald kicks the ball up to the wing in the Langford direction, who punches the ball out of bounds. And a boundary throw in, with the breeze really just starting to spring up a bit now, Don, going towards, I would suggest, the end that Hawthorn are kicking.
Well, maybe that, Malcolm, we're just looking at those flags. It's deceptive, or maybe blowing across the ground.
So boundary throw in. Deer tries to grab it out in the air. Tallis picks it up. Slip over by Stevenson. Tackled by Mansfield. Tapped out, falls to Couch. Couch onto his left foot. Comes in towards centre half forward. Great contest there from Collins and Tudor. Hickmott with a bit of pace. The ball won't sit for him. Back in after it with Brewer. Brewer gets through somehow. Gives it to Hinckley. Hinckley towards Ablett. And Ablett right on the boundary line. Takes a chest mark. And Gary, as he's now become accustomed to do, will take off his right glove and shoot a goal.
Well, Hawthorn had the numbers around that centre half back position, and Geelong did well to get it out. It was about a 4-2 situation. They got it out, Geelong, and now Ablett's got his chance for his 4th goal.
Breeze at his back from this side, but a very difficult kick. In the first half, he kicked 3 goals from 4 kicks, and without him, the Cats would be distanced. Improves the angle, snaps back and hooks it too far.
It's a good effort. Thought he dropped it.
3 goals, 1 to Gary Ablett.
Young warming up for Hawthorn too. Coming back on is Matthew Young. Placed Richard Taylor in the second quarter. Matthew Young.
Ablett replaces the glove. Graham kicks in for Hawthorn. Oh, this is difficult. He gave it to a man who was outnumbered 2-1, Jason Taylor. And Ken Hinckley's taken the mark. Now this is a tough shot for goal. Into the breeze from there, even though, well, he's about 40 to 45 metres out. Kick by Hinckley. It's holding up. Mensch is there, but the man in front, Graham, takes the mark. Ablett standing the mark in the goal square. Graham fires the hand pass to the acting captain, Darren Jarman. His kick to half-back flank. Taylor came from behind. Woods in front. Gets the ball down. Cooper. Bouncing ball past Langford it goes. It's grabbed by Hall. Hocking goes back. Scholl out to Barnes.
Does this well, Barnes.
Every kick he gets is 30 metres in the clear. Pickering, Markle free kick. Free kick against Jarman.
So Liam Pickering, just on the edge of the square, goes in the Ablett direction. Oh, fantastic mark!
Strength.
Oh, absolute special. And Gary Ablett pinched it out of Nick Holland's hands. And probably this is the most difficult side. As Don, that is a great mark.
Just looking at this, Holland just about to take it, but Ablett better positions, big strong body. Interesting, Ablett, his hips are as wide as what his shoulders are. Usually an athlete or a footballer has the widest shoulders, narrow at the hip. As you can see there, Ablett very strong in the lower portion of his body.
Most difficult pocket to kick a goal from with this sort of breeze at Cardinia Park. Gary Ablett with power in his leg. Unfortunately, he's just pushed it wide. So 2 points in as many minutes to Gary Ablett from the same side of the ground. Always difficult to kick goals from this side of the ground.
And Blighty, you are genuinely excited to see him do those things, aren't you?
Well, I think they're the niceties of football, aren't they? And it's terrific to sit back and watch him do that sort of stuff. Learned from last time, Graham goes long. Robin with soft hands couldn't control it. Does pretty well though to set Tallis away. Tallis short, great lead from Deere. Hall gave up chasing it all. Deere onto his favoured left foot through the middle of the ground in the Mitten O'Connell direction. Can't get hold of it. Ben Graham gets a bad bounce onto his left foot. Mitten O'Connell, I want to say Mitten O'Connell. Mitten Connell, and it's 1 point for Hawthorn.
It's times like these you need a Minton Connell.
Yes, it is. So 3 goals the margin now. Hawthorn 7-10, Geelong 4-10.
3 straight kicks the difference. The kicking from both sides not exemplary. 7-10 to 4-10. Now, this Graham can really kick, but he pokes it in short and it doesn't quite reach Barnes. The ball flips up, a chance here for Gibson. And the kick by the first gamer is out of bounds on the full.
Tom, with that old Hawthorn side wouldn't have had a shot from there, would they?
You drag it back into the centre, Malcolm. Open up the face.
Maybe young Shannon Gibson doesn't know much about the history of Hawthorn and how they used to do it under John Kennedy. Oh, terrific mark taken by Hall. And then he's undone his good work. Just as well for Brown and Scholl. Every possession's a tough one for the Cats. Through the middle goes Couch. The hand pass misses the target, Pickering. Pickering now playing on Jarman. The kick up inside the 50, and there was a late tackle.
Why wasn't advantage paid down the ground?
I think the call there is, Don, it's virtually in the art of kicking, so the ball must go back to where the infringement took place.
And
as
here
you
it
see,
is.
he pushes just as he kicks.
So
Pretty fair call.
Went back to Pickering, and now he goes out to Gary Hocking, who steers the pass low, and Lee Tudor takes the mark. 35 metres from goal.
His career has blossomed since he's come to North Melbourne. He worked really hard in his last pre-season at North Melbourne. Lee Tudor got himself fit, played quite well. And since he's come to Geelong, he's really started to blossom.
Distance not a problem, but quite a ripping wind left to right. It's getting away, is it? Yes. And another behind. That's 4-11 to the Cats.
Yes, Lee Tudor's been very, very lively up forward. Geelong eking back this lead. Once again, Graham goes short down the middle. This time the kick's better and finds Holland. Holland impeded there by Paul Couch. Looks up forward. Comes out in the direction of Jarman and Pickering. Hits Pickering on the head. Taylor runs onto it. Doesn't get a good bounce. Scholl does. Gives off to Simpson. Simpson onto the left foot. Hooks back onto the goal-to-goal line. And once again, Holland there to take a mark in front of Ablett. Certainly outnumbered then, Gary Ablett. Umpire just reminding Nick Holland, you really shouldn't be doing that because you might give up the footy. Holland out wide with that awkward kicking style. It's a terrific kick though and finds Tallis in front of Hocking. So 85 metres away from the Geelong goal. Heads back in towards centre half forward. Langford nearly. Mansfield over the top. Simpson controls it very well and goes for the safety of the boundary line.
52 plays 35. No cricket scores here today. Oh dear, beats Barnes. Goes straight to Scholl. Bouncing ball to half forward. McDonald. Good hand pass to Robran. Close to the boundary line. No Hawthorn players there. And Scholl takes the mark and a bit of a hit from Chris Langford. And Langford, last year's captain, is playing up the ground and he's using a bit of the physical in this third quarter. Oh, Barnes, top mark. Puts it out in front of Couch. Couch off the left. Collins is there for Hawthorn to mark. The two number 5s clash.
That's reminiscent of Gary Ablett on Didier Domenico in a grand final. In that grand final, he broke his ribs, but Collins rode the bump on that occasion.
Hawthorn have switched play. Graham through Holland, and now Jason Taylor just in from the boundary line takes the mark at left half-back flank. That's the defensive side of the ground with the breeze really ripping across to that side. Hawthorn have played this superbly, undermanned, but they lead by 3 goals.
Jason Taylor has really been reasonably productive on the back half for Hawthorn. Kicks up to the wing. Holland again. Terrific hands in front of the pack. Stood his ground, did it very well. Kicks in the Minton Connell direction.
Oh, there's
Graham
pushing. That should be
pushing
free
and
to
shoving.
Graham.
Gibson, clever little give. Undecided, kicks the ball high. Who wants that? And a fantastic mark from Hocking, who just waited underneath and stood his ground beautifully. Plays on quickly out to Barnes, who's been mentioned, seems to be by himself all the time. Over to Hall, who offers the run to Scholl. Back to Hall. Hall in trouble. Gone. Stolen by Jarman. Jarman short. And fantastic skills of Darren Jarman sets up Richard Taylor. 35 metres out. Will probably kick from about 40 metres. And Hall just didn't feel that presence of the Hawthorn player coming across him.
Darren Jarman trotting back to Shannon Gibson. The both of them laid that tackle on Hall, caused the turnover.
So a 17-point margin to Hawthorn as Richard Taylor ambles in, kicks, it comes back. It's now 23 points. Good goal to Hawthorn.
Just looking at the skies and Richard Taylor goes off. That could be a handy break if we have rain here, and it's building up as if there will be rain falling. That could be just the cushion that Hawthorn want. Matthew Young coming on, replacing Taylor as he did in the second quarter. Taylor kicked his first goal.
No sooner gets his first goal, goes to the bench.
Yeah, but that's happened before in footy, Drew.
Yeah. Back in the middle, it's getting slightly out of hand here for the Cats, but Buddha Hocking can do something about it as he goes through the middle, inside the 50. Hickmott high, but can't mark. Holland didn't get first touch, it comes to Tudor. Tudor's right foot, snapper, chance! It bounces, Ablett is there, can't keep it in, and through for a behind. Lee Tudor, 1 goal, 3.
Geelong 1-9.
Ablett's put down here. Okay, carry
Geelong
on.
1-9 from their last 10 scoring shots.
Have a look at this. Taylor and Ablett. I don't think Taylor could get rid of him that easily unless he took a dive.
So the kick in comes. Woods and Riccardi share the football, and umpire Goldsmith will come in and bounce it up. So Geelong to hit the front have to kick as many goals as they've currently got, which is a terrific tall order against his committed Hawthorn side today. Minch really did put his hand on the shoulder of Nick Holland. He's had a perfect 10 minutes, yes. It really has.
Started in the ruck and went to centre half forward, now centre half back.
He's had a terrific third quarter. It's taken about 3 or 4 marks this term.
So kicks to the outside wing. Big fly from behind for Dare. Great mark. Gives it off to Tallis, the runner. Chips the ball to Langford. Langford can't quite reach it. Runs onto it. Has good skills. Kicks off the outside of his boot onto his right boot. And Ben Graham takes the mark or free kick right on the goal line.
Great kick by Langford.
Ben Graham looks at opportunities, goes longer back towards Pickering. It's going to, a great mark from Pickering, gives off beautifully to McGrath. McGrath sets up Hawking, has a bounce, usually looks for Ablett, but Hinkley will chip in and take the mark. Once again, goals difficult from this side of the ground. Ken Hinkley had a couple of shots late in the second quarter and didn't handle it all that well, but he can kick a goal. Lines it up, kicks it, and isn't that amazing? It goes straight.
I think he allowed for the breeze then, taking it to the left of goal. The breeze just didn't bring it back.
And you couldn't really blame him either, Don, could you? I mean, the ball has swung away to that right-hand side, and Ken Hinkley allowing for that. Unfortunately, the ball just never came back 1 centimetre.
3 points, Ken Hinkley.
So Mark Graham kicks it in.
Doesn't kick as long as the Graham at the other end. The hand pass of Hocking is blocked by Crawford. It spills to Pickering, to Riccardi. Short pass to Hickmott. On the lead is Ablett. Not this time. Graham, his new opponent in the third term. Great tackle by Ablett. Knocked up the ground by Taylor. Well done by Crawshay. McDonald. And Hawthorn out of defence. Jarman can't mark low down. Pickering, his new opponent. He had Simpson in the first half. The umpire will ball it up. And Darren Jarman's up to 8 possessions. Pickering, his new opponent, had 14. Clean possession by Crawshay. Gee, they're well coached in the ruck at Hawthorn. Couch. Looks for his left foot, Paul Couch. Gets some good shepherding from Pickering. To centre half forward. Mensch started well, gone a bit quiet. Tudor pops the hand pass over to Brewer. Brewer 35 metres out, and he's missed.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? 12 shots now for 1 goal.
I just wonder with those gloves, Don, having tried them, they really do stick to your right hand a bit as you guide the ball down, and we've had some missed kicks. Graham kicks the ball to himself. Now goes long and a driving kick to the wing. Stevenson doesn't go, stays down and reads it beautifully, and does get out of it onto his left foot. Back in the pulled air directions with great strength, him and McGrath, great battle. Knocked on by Young. Scholl cleans up, looks for the opportunity. Mansfield fumbles. Back to Stevenson, who's followed up his kick. Scholl does terrifically, but the pressure's magnificent. Peter Riccardi held and will have set the free kick out of wing as Geelong try and press forward against this committed Hawthorn side. Quitey stays so far for Riccardi, and he chips over to David Mensch. David Mensch kicking long. Simpson will go for this. 3 Hawthorn players fly. Hickmott over to Tudor. Tudor centres the ball really too far, and Graham is having also a purple 5 minutes to Crawshay. Crawshay out wide, McDonald running, looks inside, sets up Paul Deere over his head. Scholl, who's done a lot of the mucking up work at the back, breaks clear again and sets up Adrian Hickmott, who should mark.
Oh, strong mark, good mark.
Slides the hand pass away to Ablett, but the umpire is going to make him come back and play on behind the mark. And Ablett has chucked the ball back at his teammate. If he'd done that to the opposition, it would have been 50 metres. But I'm still not sure why Hickmott wasn't allowed to do this.
Because he didn't go behind the mark. He didn't go behind the mark.
Into Hocking, 45 metres out, Gary Hocking. Now this is not a bad spot. Well, Blarney knows more about the ground than I do, but the breeze is left to right, at his back. I don't know, there's an easy spot anywhere on the ground today to kick for goal. I reckon Buddha will give this a bit of a shake. 50 metres out, it's a good-looking kick. It just gets away to the right. Ablett snaps, and he's kicked it.
He's unbelievable. He's the only one who stayed down. And you wouldn't believe it, the ball's gone to his hands and he's kicked their second goal in 13 shots. As Hawthorn make a change and Cooper's coming off and bun on. There's Ablett behind the pack. So it's been a long time coming, their second goal, Geelong. 14 points in margin.
Ablett's kicked 4 of their 5 goals.
Barnes high, hits the ground hard. Bun just onto the ground, swings onto the left foot, crosses the 50-metre line. Tim McGrath first back, looks at options, takes the one bounce, gives himself some time and space, and kicks in the Simpson direction. Simpson not quite sure what to do. McGrath offers the run again from behind. Terrific running from Tim McGrath. Ball bounces in front of Couch. Couch in a bit of trouble. Has the backup support of Scholl. And Scholl now goes to centre half forward. Paul Brown with the set. Goes early, gets a hand to it. Tudor tries to break it. Brewer does. Great chase from Collins. Great tackle from Tallis. And the Hawthorn pressure is sensational.
Some desperate stuff from both sides then. Some good running onto the ball by Geelong and some equally good harassment from the Hawthorn side.
So Brian Sheehan, quite experienced, 14-point margin to Hawthorn. Barnes and Crawshay kept off the ball was Barnes. Brewer, the door shuts on him. The ball is tumbled out from McDonald. Barnes knocks it forward to Hickmott. Hickmott to Hocking. Hocking an average kick, but falls to Liam.
Is that a half volley?
Looked good to me, Don.
Did it?
Yeah.
We'll have to wait for the replay. Oh, we didn't even see it on replay.
I did. So Liam Pickering,
captain of the North Melbourne cricket side. He's probably one of the only sportsmen playing that can combine two levels of sport at the highest level in Victoria.
once again, kicking for goal. That wind is quite monster out there. It's a monster wind, as they say, Drew, and the ball's just blowing off the players' boots, and kicking is very, very difficult. Sometimes looks a bit easier from up here, but we all know how that can happen.
Well, the main culprits are Tudor, 1-3. Hinkley, 3 behinds. Mensch, 3 behinds.
So Graham, his left foot kicks out, goes long and wide. Jonathan Robran, the target, can't grab hold of it. Woods has had a quieter second quarter. Back to Robran, inside to Crawford. Crawford with a long, ambitious handball that really, really didn't set up Jarman. And I don't think Darren Jarman's all that happy, as Mick Mansfield is quite pleased about running that out of bounds.
Well, there's a fair Hawthorn influence at Geelong with Gary Ayres and Michael Tuck. But so far, the Hawks are leading them a merry dance. Couch, though, finds McGrath. Up the ground to Simpson. Scholl's been an excellent player. And that's 21 disposals for Scholl in the third quarter with 4 minutes to the last change. Hickmott comes back to Brewer. He's given the hand pass away, but fortunately the whistle had sounded and Brewer had just received a free kick before he gave the ball up.
Listen, Malcolm, do you think that Geelong are leaving this hole on this side of the ground because there's no player there, but they kick the ball into that vicinity and players seem to run there?
Well, I think they've got a bit of a problem. They're not going to kick a lot of goals from this side because it's very, very difficult to kick them. I think they should be going more down the middle.
Kick by Brewer, gets to the right again.
See, I mean, that was almost perfect, Tom. They haven't had one direct shot from in front other than Pickering's.
But what we're doing when they're going forward, this seems to be an open area where they're coming to that flank, and maybe it's a, well, what I'm trying to say is maybe it's a planned move that they bring the ball out this way.
Yeah, it's just so difficult to kick goals from this side, though, on this sort of wing.
Shane Brewer has kicked 2 behinds and 1 out of bounds on the full. Graham kicks in. Hocking too late to spoil Taylor. Jason Taylor, one of 4 ex-Fitzroy players in Hawthorn's lineup today. And a lot of these kids haven't got much of a name in football, but they've stood up and been counted today. And this is sharing the honour of equal mark taker, equal leading mark taker in the competition. And he's taken about 4 in this quarter. Holland comes to the front. It was going to be a Geelong free. Advantage to Brewer. He pokes it up to Hinkley, who marks on his chest. And for the upteenth time, there'll be a shot for goal from 50 from about this spot. And not once have they converted.
2 from 15 it is, 2 goals from 15 shots.
Yes, there were 3 goals won. The kick by Ken Hinkley. He gets terrific distance, but it's not quite there. Clears the pack and misses a score, and we'll have a throw in alongside the behind post. It is 8-10 to 5-16. An amazing scoreline. Hawthorn undermanned, doing a superb job. Here's Ablett. Will he take a free kick? Oh, the crowd wanting it. No whistle. It goes to Graham, and Graham clears for the Hawks, where Mansfield takes an excellent mark.
Crawshay's hurt behind play too.
Mansfield, 65, 70 metres from the Geelong goal. And a very, very crowded forward line. Mansfield just sets it up 25 metres from the square. All Hawthorn in front. Stolen by Brewer. Under pressure. Ball comes out to Graham. Throws it onto his left foot. Very, very wide and out on the full. So Mansfield will restart this again. Goes short this time and sets up Paul Couch. Oh, there must be 28 players in the Geelong forward line. Very difficult to get a kick there at the moment. Tries to keep it a bit lower, and Holland just reads it better than David Mensch and takes an easy mark. 7th mark for Nick Holland. Kicks it back out to the centre wing. Can Mansfield take another one? No, he can't. Gary Hocking comes in, tries to set up. Simpson slips over. Crawford evades. John Barnes and Peter Riccardi puts the pressure in, and the ball goes out of bounds. So Geelong doing all the attacking at the moment. The goal's just not coming.
Richard Taylor warming up for Hawthorn.
1 goal 8 in this quarter, the Cats. And Hawthorn have added 2 goals 1. So Geelong have had all the scoring opportunities and can't buy a goal. Margin is 2 straight kicks, but Geelong just can't manage 2 straight kicks. Crawshay's hand pass. Bunn in a hurry. A fortunate kick and straight onto the chest of Young. Matthew Young, playing his 13th game, came off the interchange bench. Great distance with the kick. Minton Connell dives into it and marks.
Takes every mark down low to the ground, Minton Connell, or he has today anyway.
He goes from 49 metres. It won't score.
Good.
Punch away by Brown, who's been a goal scorer in the last 2 weeks. He's kicked 10 goals in the last 2 weeks, and now he's in the last line.
So boundary line 15 metres around from the Hawthorn goal, and Geelong have done all the attacking, and quite often in football the side will race it down the other end and kick a goal. Not this occasion as Scholl clears with his 22nd possession out wide. Woods and Riccardi go together. Woods knocks it forward. Crawshay very, very slow after it and lets it go over the boundary line. So centre wing throw, far side.
Jason Taylor.
Change for Hawthorn. Taylor off, Taylor on.
John Barnes, Crawshaw. Barnes gets front spot. Tackle from behind from Simpson, and the ball is smothered with Crawford underneath it. So just this quiet spot as the impetus of the game has risen in this 3rd quarter. Commonly called the premiership quarter, where you really do try and flex your muscles a bit. Pushed down by Crawshay, intelligently tapped on. Gary Hocking caught, unloads to Scholl. Scholl off to Pickering, who slips over. Tim McGrath gets a very, very ordinary bounce. Jarman doesn't. Sets up Crawford, who kicks intelligently to Deere. Deere goes long, just drifting across the front of the goals, and 1 point for the big left footer from Hawthorn.
I think he could have spotted Shannon Gibson was on a lead then, but he decided to overlook the lead from Gibson Deere and went long. It would have been better to hit Gibson with the ball.
So with very little time left in this last quarter, the scores haven't changed since 3/4 time. 13 points up Geelong from that kick out. Never all the players seem to stop. Short kick to Crawford, who plays on quickly. There will be no score from that kick. So at 3/4 time, it is Hawthorn 8-11, 59 points. Geelong trailing 5-16, 40. Across half forward.
Yeah. There's no one in the front end of the square.
Scoring scrap all day, and Hawthorn undermanned have the advantage by 13 points going into the last quarter. Barnes wins the tap, through goes Couch. Hawthorn's defence resolute. Collins helped up the ground by Crawshay, who's done well in the ruck. Oh, this is terrific by Hawthorn through the middle. On the run is Tallis. Out in front of Minton Connell. He can't take the mark. It spills to McGrath. He palms off an opponent, but he's given it back to Hawthorn. Langford played the first half at full-back. He's now moved up the ground. Jarman, quiet early, pokes the pass, and the mark's taken by Cooper.
Well, this is the side in which Geelong attacked from. Gibson has already kicked a goal.
Shannon Gibson in his first game.
But Geelong really didn't kick accurately from goal from this pocket.
In the third quarter, the Cats managed 1 goal, 8. This is not a bad effort by Gibson. First gamer, he's measured that better than the home team, and he's kicked a goal. Well, Geelong had pot shot after pot shot and couldn't get one from there, and look what happens to the youngster, the visitor.
2 goal, one to Gibson. His first 2 kicks, first was a point, the second a goal. And as Drew just mentioned, Geelong really did bomb away from that flank in the third quarter and just could not capitalise as far as the scoreboard was concerned.
So 19-point advantage to the Hawks. Crawshay and Barnes miss it. Jarman kicks the ball forward to Deere. And Deere been very lively at centre-half forward. Swings onto that left foot. Sits it on top of Minton O'Connell's head. Grabs hold of the foot. He shoots. And unfortunately for Hawthorn, this could be a free kick.
Too high, said the umpire.
Simon Minton-Connell with 1 goal in the second quarter. Ben Graham's done a reasonable job at fullback on him. Now has a chance to increase this Hawthorn lead, and they really have been a supercharged side today. 35 metres Minton-Connell will kick from.
And he's running in 45.
Moves in, very deliberate approach to goal. Ben Graham jumping around on the mark. Kicks and kicks very well indeed. 10th goal to Hawthorn. So Minton-Connell gets his second, and the first 2 goals in this decisive last quarter go to the Hawks.
3 goals, 2 last week against North Melbourne, Simon Minton-Connell. Already kicked 2 points and very happy with his effort there because they are difficult to kick from there. Hawthorn doing well when they're going left of screen.
Back in the middle, this is a big break to the Hawks. Crawshay wins in the middle, beating Barnes, who's been the star ruckman of the competition this season just about. Hand past Mansfield, back to Barnes, off to Gary Hocking. Wide he goes. Scholl has been a great player from the half-back line. Up to Simpson. Short pass is very wide. Not to the advantage of the side. Hickbott caught in a good tackle. It comes to Ablett. Hurried kick. Brewer! He misses. And you couldn't blame the wind for that. It didn't get above worm height. 4 behinds to Brewer.
Riccardi off and Lynch on, and also warming up is Lord, Aaron Lord.
And Mark Graham on his left foot goes in short. Dangerous. Couch nearly pinches it from Cooper. Tudor breaks through. It ends up back with Graham. On his right foot this time, sends it out wide in the Rodwin direction. Simpson punches from behind. Jarman, just with a silky smooth class, picks it up beautifully. Hugs the boundary line. The ball favours Scholl. Scholl, who's got many possessions across that half-back line, kicks into the middle of the ground. Woods tries to keep Lynch off the ball, crashing through his Langford. Does it very well indeed. Gives it over to Collins. Collins on to Bunn. Bunn with no one to kick goes long. A vacant centre-half forward position. Minton-Connell meets the ball, overruns it. Graham does pretty well. Caught. Fantastic pressure just off the square. Stevenson off the ground. McGrath goes at the football. Woods, good early. Gives it out to Bunn. Bunn from a very difficult kick, and Paul Brown will mark.
Lee Tudor off for Geelong and Aaron Lord on as the free kick's going Hawthorn's way.
It's in fact going down the ground, and Shannon Gibson plays on confidently onto his left foot and is missed. So 10-12 Hawthorn, 72. Geelong trail 5-17-47.
And also during that passage of play, co-captain Ken Hinkley was interchanged and Billy Brownless is back on the ground. He's been on the bench for the last 2 quarters, Billy. So maybe Gary Ayres is starting to get desperate because Lord hasn't had a run all day and gets his first in the last quarter. It looks desperate. It's 72 to 47. And Hawthorn are getting all the ball in the last quarter. Crochet to Tallis. Kick by Raiden Tallis. Open forward line. Minton Connell's there. But closing the hole is Brown to take the mark.
Goes short to McGrath, centre half back.
Here's Tim McGrath. Still inside the defensive 50. Support from Mansfield. Gary Hocking's hand pass on the bounce. Made it tough for McGrath. They've lost it. Oh, he gets a free kick. It's coming back to Michael Mansfield, who was All-Australian last year and only third in the club best and fairest.
Michael Mansfield kicks it very high ball to centre half forward. David Minch has to wait underneath it with a pack of players. Off to Brewer. Great handball to Lynch.
Oh!
Simpson goes back to Shepherd for him, and unfortunately Paul Lynch had unloaded the ball, and really a wasted opportunity there for the Cats.
Scholl did that earlier too. He was in a position to kick the ball and just gave the little one in front as that happened there, and Geelong turned it over.
Well, Geelong must get something out of this attack to be any chance in this game. Hickmott knocks it forward. Back, it eventually ends up back with Hickmott. Terrific handball to Pickering. Pickering kicks the ball. Ablett with a set. Unable to mark, recovers better than anyone, kicks it round his body. Simpson! Simpson has dropped the mark that we would expect him to take, and that is a huge let-off for the Hawthorn side, and perhaps he could even known where he was to let the ball go through. The Ryan kick short.
You can almost see Simpson blushing there. He's made 2 howlers in a minute.
The ball's kicked out of bounds in the fall by Taylor, and Adrian Hickmott will take the kick.
The Cats need a rush to get back into this game. Brownless. It comes back to Billy. Fires the hand pass, but it's chopped off by Woods. Ex-Collingwood, ex-Fitzroy. Tony Woods, the hand pass hasn't cleared the area yet. It's paddled. Holland gets it up the ground. Crochet's been a real surprise in the ruck. The hand pass across the half-back line. Running onto it is Young. It's a young side, almost a nameless Hawthorn side, but they're poleaxing Geelong at Cardinia Park. Crawford's stats not brilliant, but he's played it like a terrier today. The kick by Crawford. Jarman. They've lost control of it, and out of defence Pickering. On his own Barnes, he's marked 40 metres in the clear as he's done all day. To Scholl, who's had a mile of the leather. Minch is there. He goes to ground with his opponent. Woods for Hawthorn. Lord tackling. It's high, says the umpire. Free kick to Holland.
Well, Holland hurt himself before, and I don't think he's fully recovered. It took a long time to get to his. You can see there he's very slow in getting to his feet.
72 to 48. And Geelong would need to just about double their score to get up and win this.
Holland kicks out wide. Mansfield in front. Langford contests beautifully. Stevenson kicks the ball forward. Graham with a beautiful left-handed punch. Back to Hocking. Hocking measures the handball in front of McGrath. Sits nicely for him. Turns him inside out and then comes back boundary side and puts Scholl in all sorts of trouble. Gary Hocking again, terrific, starting to get touches. Trying to measure this off. Trying to get a teammate to run for him. Nothing on, and then goes short to Mansfield. Great poise. Gives it off to Pickering. Great shepherd from Mansfield. Goes long. Brownless. Brewer reads it beautifully. Kicks it round and goal. Fantastic kick from Shane Brewer. 6 goals now to Geelong. Hawthorn 10. 18 points through.
And that's his first goal. He kicked 3 points prior to that, Brewer, but what a magnificent kick for goal. He turned it in mid-air. Brownless and Ablett both flying. Had one of them just left it, the other wouldn't have taken it, but here he is mopping up. Well, look at the way he turned that ball. Well done, Shane Brewer. He's got a lot of talent, but maybe a little inconsistent.
Well, perhaps that goal could be a turning point for the Cats. 13 minutes left, and they're not that far behind that they're totally out of it. But their play today would suggest that it'd be a miracle if they could get up and win this game. They certainly had plenty of shots at goal. In the third quarter, they kicked 1 goal 8, but just couldn't buy a goal. So if they can start to get accurate, maybe they can win. But Hawthorn have been great, undermanned. Leading the race is Lord. Fresh legs on in the last quarter. Overruns. Young going in there, well played. Make sure he got a ball up out of that. Ball up centre wing. 10-12 to 6 goals 18. Gary Ablett has kicked 4 of their 6 goals. A two-hander by Barnes, but straight to Jarman. Hurried kick goes straight out of bounds on the full, and the free kick in will be taken by Mansfield.
Mitch Mansfield right in front of the Channel 7 commentary box, goes in short to John Barnes and finds that player on his chest.
He's presented himself well as far as options go, Barnes, today.
Taken 13 marks.
John Barnes looks in the Bill Brownless direction. Jumps early, nearly a good mark in front from McDonald, and the ball's forced out of bounds. Virtually right on the 50-metre line. Geelong in attack, and the Cats trail by 18 points.
13 marks by Barnes. Next best on the ground, Mensch 7 and Holland 7.
Adrian Hickmott reads it well off the pack, and the ball is smothered by the Hawthorn players. And that's been indicative of their play all day. Their tackling numbers have been terrific. Adrian Hickmott on the bench early. Has got some possessions since being on the ground. Brownless and Robert. Matthew Young. Terrific handball. Sets Woods in the free. Breaks the tackle. Then unloads with a very wobbly kick. Clears centre half back. Running onto the ball is Paul Brown. Traps it beautifully. Has an ability to set it up again with Simpson. Simpson has Lynch in the clear. Goes back onto his left foot and kicks it in the Holland direction, who should mark, and drops one. Had a fantastic third quarter. Brewer short. Ablett punched away by Graham. Recovers beautifully off the ground. 1 point. So Nick Holland dropped that mark and took 6 in that third quarter gone.
I thought Ablett for that split second was going to kick. That was a terrific effort by Ablett to just get his foot to ball and screw it around. He's a man with a lot of talent.
Mark Graham to bring this ball back in for Hawthorn. 17-point margin to the Hawks. Kicks it long. Holland pushed off the ball, falls to Brewer. Brewer short to Lynch, and Lynch marks right on the 50-metre line.
Most of the day on the bench, Lynch. Short pass into Shane Brewer.
Should kick this Brewer or score at least. Let it go from 50.
Coming up for his 18th disposal. 1 goal 3. Strong breeze for him. His right to left. 50 metres out, a long way. It's a raking kick by Brewer. Oh, is it there? It might be. A goal. It got home by 1 centimetre.
Well, his second goal for the quarter, Brewer. As we mentioned earlier, he gave him a rap, a gifted player, and he showed his talent then. He let that go from 50 metres. It held up. Let it go from outside 50. A big kick from Brewer. The pack flew, but it was over the line. Jason Taylor about to come on for Hawthorn.
Well, 11-point margin to Hawthorn as the Cats drive home this important game at Gardenia Park. Barnes with his left hand. Bunn picks it up, smothered in the centre of the ground, and we'll have another bounce. 10 minutes of this game to go, and it really is closing in to end up in a cliffhanger, you would expect. Terrific punch. Hall gets a very ordinary bounce. Paul Couch onto his left foot, swings it round back into the centre half forward direction. All players at the football. Terrific commitment from all players, and the ball is smothered centre half forward, 65 metres from the Geelong goal.
They've been a committed bunch today, Hawthorn, and Geelong realising they've got a sniff of it now, showed great commitment in that contest.
Well, the Hawks kicked the first couple of goals of this term and their margin got out to over 4 goals, but here come the Cats. Lord didn't have it. Lord, free kick.
Well done by the youngster. He knew he had control of the ball, didn't take it. He had it covered all the way. And the boy that got nearly 25 possessions, or well over 20 possessions in a final last year, still developing. Got his chance. coming off is Chris Langford. Taylor going on to centre half forward as Lord lines up for Geelong's 8th goal.
Aaron Lord to get the Cats to within one straight kick, and he's done it. So the Cats have kicked the last 3 goals, and the margin is 5 points.
Well, the umpire really made that seem dramatic, took his time to signal a goal. The crowd behind the goal cheering as the ball went through. Not a great kick off the boot. Still, it found its mark. A lot of confidence, Lord, for the young fellow.
So terrific bounce by Sheehan. Crawshay punches forward with the fist, then follows it up. Tries to set up Stevenson and does. Stevenson kicks long. Flyers wanted here. Bing Graham almost. The ball slips out the back. Scholl, great tackle on Mitten Connell, and that is holding the ball.
Gee, they were lucky to get away with that, Geelong. Hawthorn had the numbers. Maybe that's 50.
Brad Scholl with 27 possessions today. It's been a terrific player at the back. Kicks out wide. Mansfield alone and marks. Plays on quickly. Pickering trying to set up Brown. Brown does terrifically well for the second time in this quarter. Falls to Paul Lynch. Lynch running through the middle of the ground. Kicks out to Brownless. Oh! And unfortunately, went a shade early, and Holland has taken a very, very good mark. Out wide, Bunn just settling things down. And Hawthorn really do need to recover from this onslaught from Geelong. Paul Deere gets McGrath out the way, chips inside. Mansfield with a very average bounce. Ends up with Stevenson on his left foot. Shoots! Goal! Hawthorn increase their lead.
Well, it was some great work starting at centre half back from Holland. Took the mark. And then there was a show of strength by Deere. Mitten Connell comes off. There's Deere getting away from McGrath. Taylor coming on. Richard Taylor coming on. Did the right thing, Mansfield. Backed himself in. Stevenson, his second.
So Scott McLaren back in the centre. The Hawks eke out an 11-point lead. A dead heat in the middle of the ground. And the ball is in a jam of players. And another bounce will take place. So 7.5 minutes to go in this pretty exciting game of football at Kardinia Park.
Brown coming up the ground, the Geelong runner going out, making a change. Graham going back. Brown now picking up Richard Taylor.
Ball clear. Simpson picks it up. Kicks towards centre half forward. Sitting underneath it is Holland. Falls beautifully for McDonald. McDonald out wide to Young. Young sets up Collins. Collins is chipped along the boundary line to Stevenson. Taps it inside to Woods. Wood again tapping. The Hawks trying to set something up here. Stevenson really has set up Taylor. Taylor chased beautifully by McGrath. Simpson just takes his eye off the ball when he really shouldn't have. Deere, big and strong. Left foot, Jarman. Fantastic punch from Graham, and it falls to Barnes.
Barnes off to Tim McGrath. Bumbles a kick into the centre of the ground. Awkward for Pickering. Dishes out a good hand pass. Scholl's been fantastic from defence. The kick by Scholl. Ablett in front.
Geez, quick over the first couple of yards, Ablett. Exceptional, as all the Ablets are. His brothers before him. Jeff, who played on the wing at Hawthorn. Also Kevin, who played at both Richmond and Hawthorn, as did Jeff. I think Jeff also played at St Kilda for a while.
Scholl has had 29 possessions in his best game of 9 for the Cats. Ablett goes for the goal. It swings back right through the middle. He's got 5 and the Cats are still alive.
Well, he was practising there before the game, Ablett, letting them go from exactly that position. Right on the 50-metre line. 5 goals through to Gary Ablett. But Hawthorn have answered each time Geelong have scored. Hawthorn have answered today.
Well, more excitement that we bargained on here. It was scrappy, low-scoring, inaccurate, but it's really come to life in this last quarter. Both teams throwing everything at each other. Cooper to Collins. Great pass, but dropped by Jarman. Jarman good enough to get back to Collins. On his own is Deere, and he marks on the 50. It's 5 points the difference. Hawthorn just in front. 5.5 minutes left. Stevenson.
Oh,
yes!
well done.
Top mark to drag it in with one hand and then steady it with both.
It was a good kick by Deere because he looked down the ground. There was just nothing presenting itself in the right on the full forward line. Went right across ground, and Stevenson did well because he was. See there, 2 Geelong players coming into the contest.
He's already kicked one in this last quarter. This is not another one. Breeze gets it away to the right-hand side, and it's out on the full in the forward pocket. He has kicked 2 goals too, and the crowd at fever pitch.
Yes, indeed. The excitement certainly isn't in this last quarter. Tim McGrath will have to kick over the mark here. He has been given 5 metres by the umpire. He kicks out wide. Half-back flank for Geelong. Barnes stands his ground. It falls to Hocking. A mill of players there, and another ball up. 65 metres from the Hawthorn goal, and the intensity in this last quarter has just been sensational. Geelong really coming at Hawthorn now. Barnes kicks the ball out of the air and is allowed to go out of bounds. And another throw in a very, very similar spot as before. Breeze still going mainly across the ground. Hawthorn have led at every change by 10 points, 13 points and 13 points. And now in front by 5. Scholl again for another possession. Really has broken up the game from the back. Holland, as he's done all day, has marked well. Unfortunately couldn't control that one.
Gee, they're questionable, aren't they? Minch had hold of Holland. You can see there, Holland appealing to the umpire, but the umpire on the wrong side of that contest didn't have clear vision.
Minch gets the tap forward. Lynch has to sit and wait. Young on hands and knees, handballs the ball forward. Bunn under pressure from Brewer. Great contest on the centre wing, right on the Coca-Cola side, and a throw is given against the Hawthorn player, and Sean Simpson will take the quick. Quickly gets it on. Minch is sitting underneath it. Goes early. Free kick. No. Holland has been played the mark.
I thought that Collins might have infringed there. Holland, hasn't he done a workmanlike job in the second half?
Been fantastic since half-time. Took only 1 mark to the long break. He's taken 8 since half-time. Equal leading mark taker in the competition, Nick Holland, former South Australian.
It's pretty tough. He copped the one earlier in the last quarter.
Time down to 3.5 minutes left. The Hawks by 5 points. A punch by McGrath. It sits for Barnes. He turns into trouble but gives it to Pickering. Short pass by Pickering. Across the face of goal. Charging hard at it, Cooper, but overruns. Hickmott. Short pass, Lord. No mark. Spoiled by Bunn. Holland again. Gets the ball out to Tony Woods. Delisted by Collingwood. Grabbed by Hawthorn. The kick by Woods. Deere outnumbered 2-1. He doesn't attempt the mark. He punches on. Scholl again. He's past 30 possessions. To McGrath. Short pass. They're setting it up. Minch on centre wing. Takes the mark. His 8th mark for the day.
David Minch right in front of the commentary box. Kicks a very high ball to centre half forward. Barnes and Crawshay. Great contest by both the big fellas. Crawshay does very well indeed. Sets up Collins with the run. Crawford there to help. Crawford chips it in front of Taylor. Taylor can't manage it. Hall mopping up beautifully at the back. Stands. Puts McGrath under pressure. Back to Hall. Hall out wide to Hickmott. Hickmott has Minch. And the ball ends up in that direction. Minch off quickly. Really to no one in particular. Young takes the mark. As long as the centre half back. He has Collins out wide. And Collins will now stream up with Holland being available out wide as well. And Holland with another mark. Awkward kicking style. Kicks. Graham stands. Can't control it. And the ball spills over the back. Crawford, terrific pickup. Gets around Simpson. Graham there to help is caught. Once again, Hawthorn just relentless with their push at the ball forward.
Gibson.
And a terrific contest all round. And the ball ends up out of bounds.
Good effort by Gibson. Really had a go at that ball. First game.
In the forward pocket for the Hawks. Goal here might nearly seal it. Bunn out of the air, but kicks into the pack. It spills to Scholl, who's been absolutely sensational. Managed only a couple of games for North Melbourne. Hocking goes over the top to Mensch. Blind hand pass. Crawshay takes one high. And the free kick goes to Simon Crawshay.
He's got to slow it down, take his time.
Hasn't he stood up in the ruck in the absence of Lawrence? Take out Platten, Pritchard, Hudson and Dunstall, a last-minute withdrawal. And nobody gave Hawthorn a hope that they might steal the points here. It comes to the first gamer. Gibson goes round the corner. Stevenson's kicked a couple of goals. Can't get past the tackle. He's lost it. Pickering has it for the Cats.
Pickering clear. Collins stands in the best spot. McDonald reads well off hands. Runs onto it. Kicks an underground kick. And out to the safety of the boundary line. Very, very intelligent kick. We're now down to 29 seconds. And can the Cats steal this game? Only one kick in it. And the game's had a excitement galore from the first bounce. Crawshay pushes to the boundary line and wastes some valuable time. 24 seconds. 5 points the margin. As they've done most of the day, Barnes and Crawshay again on the boundary line. Barnes tries to get something going over the back. Intelligent knock to Hocking. Hocking quickly off. Mensch. Give it off to Brown. He does. Here's a chance for the Cats. In front is Graham and takes a great mark. 7 seconds to go. And Mark Graham has Darren Jarman out wide. Puts it on top of his head. And a fantastic mark. And a Hawthorn victory. And a most unlikely one by 5 points.
Well, that victory today will go down in the history books for the Hawthorn Football Club, Don Scott, as one of their most famous, I reckon. Take out some of the names, and for them to get up with those youngsters was sensational.
Well, Hawthorn Drew have got a couple of teams posted up in their board at their club rooms. Goes back to about 1969 when they took on Essendon with a depleted side. That team went up on the board. A couple of sides have gone up since in the 80s, and maybe this team could go up and go alongside those other three teams. It was a terrific effort, undermanned as you mentioned, but they started behind the 8 ball. Geelong got the first score, and then Hawthorn came back. They were committed. You can see there the excitement on those guys' faces. Geelong a little bit complacent. They realised they had a battle on their hands in the last quarter. Really did lift the work rate, but it was just too far. They'd given Hawthorn too much of a start.
What a performance by those young kids in the brown and gold. They've beaten the Cats at Cardinia Park by 5 points in a famous victory. And there's Peter Knights out there to congratulate his players. The final score, Hawthorn 11-12, Geelong 9-19.